So now I need to go back to ours and watch.
Correct. Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday. I hope everybody's had a great weekend, a safe weekend. Glad y'all back in the building with us. Book, say what up to the people.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Another Monday, another episode of The Collective. And of course, we're unfiltered. So go ahead, show love in the comments. Let us know where you're coming in from. And we got a great episode for you today.
No doubt. And before we really get started, as always, big thank you to our sponsors and partners of the podcast. Oh, shoot, I'm stuttering, y'all. Good thing we unfiltered. Good Lord Jesus. Y'all bear with me. But shout out to our sponsors at Hound Dogs of Knoxville, Tennessee Tap House of Knoxville. Also our partners, Orange Mountain Designs, who keeps me fresh in my Lady Vol gear.
I'm still waiting on some more.
I gotta get booked right. And then also our partners, Just Pass It, who is tutoring, virtual online tutoring, also ACT and SAT prep. Main office is down in Miami. So if you are in Miami, Florida, reach out. You can possibly get into the building if COVID allows. But this is open to anybody in the world. If you're struggling in math, K through 12, or if you just simply want to prepare for ACTs and SATs, make sure y'all go check out our partners at justpassit.com. So, Bug, I'm gonna let you do the honors of our episode 19 guest, because really it's your guest. What's up?
No, I'm excited about this one. We have the beautiful and talented Bryana Robinson, hailing from Atlanta, Georgia. What's up, Bri? How you doing?
What's up? What's up?
So I'm gonna give a little rundown of Bryana's. This is an abbreviated rundown because her bio is very extensive, both athletically and in her education. So I'm gonna give a brief rundown, and then we're gonna kind of hop into it. Little change of pace. Look, all of our SEC Lady Vol fans, we need y'all to stay locked in because Bree brings a whole different aspect to the table, and we love it. Rightfully, respectfully so in her field and her specialization. But Bree, like I said, she's from Atlanta. She had a scholarship to the University of Pittsburgh to run track, and then she transferred to the University of Cincinnati, where she was an All-American in track and field. She ran everything from the 60 meters to 800 meters. Lord have mercy, I'd have passed out. But she specialized in the 400. She won team MVP. She was 4-time conference athlete of the week. She was undefeated in the American Athletic Conference in 2017. She was number 1 in the NCAA in 500 meters, which is indoor for those of you who don't know track and field. But she was number 1 in the NCAA in the 500 meters in 2018. She was a 7-time conference champion. She led her team to the NCAA finals in the 4x4 relay. She holds 4 University of Cincinnati records. In the books, boy, she majored in, as a Division I athlete, she majored in neuroscience and chemistry. She was inducted into the University of Cincinnati Honorary Sigma Phi. She's a McNair Scholar and Honors College Scholar, which is a very prestigious honor. She has 1 publication as the first author in pharmacology and multiple journal publications. She's worked as a clinical and bench researcher, a medical scribe, and undergraduate clinic coordinator with the homeless. And she's currently preparing for her MCAT and coaches high school track athletes. Boy, Bryana, how you feel about it?
Overwhelmed.
That's a long list.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm really thankful. And, I've gotten all of these really great opportunities because of God and perseverance, and also, having a really good circle around me. And thank you so much for the introduction. I really appreciate it.
All right, so we're gonna just kind of hop into it. So Bree, how did you I guess, obviously we know your story, but I guess kind of tell the people how you kind of got started in track? Because it's a little bit different than me and Lex. Obviously track, and why you kind of went the track route.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, yeah, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I went to Pebblebrook High School. That's where I graduated from. And maybe about at 14, I said that I wanted to go into medicine. And throughout my time in high school, you know, like I kept my grades up. I did really good on my SAT. And by the time I started figuring out that I really didn't want to be in debt for undergrad, I decided to start trying out for different sports. And I started trying out for different sports maybe my sophomore year. And then into my junior year, I finally found track. And let me tell you, like I wrestled, I did cross country, I tried out for softball. I was just everywhere, and I really couldn't find a good fit. And so, like, I found cross country, and I was just really bad. But everybody noticed that I was really, really fast the last maybe 800 meters of, you know, like a 5K. And the coach said, you know, maybe you should try out for track. And so I tried out for track. By this time, you know, it's my junior year. And I ended up doing really, really well. Like I went to state, first time I ever ran track, first year I ran track. And I placed, I believe I got like fifth in the 400 at state, first time ever running. And I said, okay, like I can do this. I can run track. I can get to college debt free. And so what I did was I found a private coach. I worked a job at McDonald's and so that I would be able to pay for him. And I made it happen. And that's pretty much how I started. And by the time I was done my junior year into my senior year, Coach Dominic DeMichael and Coach Niall Stewart, they believed in me more than I believed in myself. And they knew, you know, exactly like my potential. They knew who I could be. And they unconditionally gave me so much support. And I truly feel like I would not be where I am at today without them really, really like putting their expertise on me and showing me. I hated the 400 and they were like, no, you're really good at it. So stick with it. And, you know, like they were really my rock.
What's up? So you didn't even, I mean, me and Lex in here, what, 4, 5? Like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, like we got it. Yeah, that's interesting though, but you still have, I mean, just listening to you still have the same drive as if you know, picked up your sport at 4 or 14. So that's pretty dope to hear.
And did it starting in high school. So then, okay, of course you get a private coach and then, all right, so track's your go-to. So then how did you end up in beautiful Pittsburgh?
Well, I ended up, I guess before kind of getting into that, like my focus was always academic. And my focus from a young age, 14, I knew I wanted to be a doctor. And so, you know, like track was a means to getting to my goal. And somehow I ended up being very good at it. And I'm like I still look back at it and I'm like, wow, like it's crazy because like all I really wanted to do was just, you know, like pay for school. But, you know, like when I was going through the recruiting process, I was very, very frank. And I knew that I had to be very frank. I took all 5 visits. And I can't remember all the schools that I went to at first. But basically, I narrowed down the 40 or so schools that offered me scholarships and stuff. And I was like, who has a medical school? And if you have a medical school, okay, like who's really good at the sciences? And that's how I chose Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh had a really great medical school, and Pittsburgh was also, really strong in their science curriculum. And, like I figured, I could have the best of both worlds. I can still be a really great track athlete and I can still pursue my long-term dreams. So that's how I ended up at Pittsburgh. Yeah.
All right. So Pittsburgh, but then obviously you ended up in Cincinnati. So you had to go through
right.
Sure. Well, obviously for me as a former college coach, what's that transfer process like?
Yeah.
Athlete.
Well, basically,
remember we're unfiltered.
Yeah,
don't be over here. We don't want no PC answers, no politically correct answers. Like, be real. Tell the people, help educate these young folk, man.
First and foremost, I want to say I've never seen school spirit until I met you two. I never knew
school
spirit as much.
Let's go. VFL, LVFL is how we rock.
I was like, this is crazy. Like, this for a school? And then I honestly, I started to really, get to know you guys. I'm like, wow. But I love Pittsburgh. I really did. And I actually had a lot of school spirit for Pittsburgh. Like, I love the city. I love the campus. I love the people. But I, went from being a top 6 athlete nationally to, in high school to being absolutely terrible. I was not performing well. And the coaching style didn't fit mine. And, even though I was getting the education that I wanted, and the high paced education that I wanted, I really wanted it all. And I wanted everything that had my name on it to be good. And, I had to make the decision, and I was very able and willing to make that decision at, I was like 18 or maybe 17, when I decided that I wanted to transfer. And a lot of people, they thought, that it was foolish or silly to transfer for those reasons, but I've been making responsible decisions for myself, for longer than that, ever since I was 15 and 16. So, me making that decision to transfer was a really big decision for my lifetime. And that part was probably the lowest moment because of the whole process. I had to unenroll out of Pittsburgh when I told them that I wanted to transfer. And even with that, I didn't even get a full release. And because I didn't get a full release, I couldn't even talk to other coaches directly. So I had to go through other people to talk to coaches. And then they were like, okay, well, we don't want you performing in our region because for reasons, they don't want me to perform in their region. I'll just say it. So basically how track works, you have 2 regions. And to go to nationals, you have a certain amount of spots. And based off of your time, no matter where you're from, in Division I track and field, you get that spot. And so they thought that I would be competing with them for spots. And so they wanted me to go to the West Coast. And so they said, we'll give you a full release if you go to the West Coast. But if you don't, you're going to have to sit out for a year or maybe 2. We don't know. And so what I did was, I unenrolled. I came back to Georgia. I shipped all my stuff from Pittsburgh and I just trained. I trained. I went on another 5 visits as soon as I got the release. I got the release in maybe probably like November. So I was out of school from August to December. Mm-hmm. And it was probably in November when I finally got the full release to be able to go on visits. And I literally went on all 5 in December. And I was able to go to Cincinnati and probably like 2 weeks later, I was on campus.
Shoot, that's what's up.
Isn't it funny how like people might not want to play you, or you might not be doing well, or it's not good for you, you know, like your mental health or well-being, but they want to block you from actually positioning yourself to do something better. That's why I
Yes.
say, y'all, I don't care who agree or disagree with me. NCAA is like slavery. It's like modern day
And
slavery. Yo.
and and and, and
I'm
that
sure.
part really.
Go ahead, my bad.
Oh, no, I was gonna say like it really does take a toll on you. And like if you are the athlete that, decides that this school isn't for you, just make sure that you have a stable support system. Like that whole time is the time where you're supposed to be training to get ready for the season that starts in January. So I was training from August to December, not even knowing where I was going to go to school. But, I just had to be ready. And yes, and even though, like I was crying like at least once a week, to Coach D, and he would have to pick me up and say, no, come on, you need to finish. Let's go. Right. And it's really all about those people. Yeah.
It takes that for sure. And sorry to cut y'all short. Y'all know we keep it rolling, but we always say what's up to everybody that's in the comments and in the chat box. Thank y'all for. Also, make sure, hey, we got this special feature. Y'all see us moving up, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, go ahead and call us up. If y'all want to talk to us, y'all want to ask us any questions, go ahead and call us up at 865-424-1342. All right, that's our call-in line. You can talk to us directly. You can be live. If for some reason you're on hold due to another call, you can still hear the show and what's going on. So don't worry, you won't miss a thing. All right, we got it. Bobby, hey, he got us hooked up. He the man. He the magic behind the scenes, y'all. We're going to have to bring him to the forefront one day and just have a good old time. Yo, Corey, what up, man? Corey said, what up?
Leave comments, ask questions in the comments too.
Yeah, absolutely. But back to you, Bree. So basically, you did not have like Book said, you didn't have that just easy road. You make a decision, you work for it, you decide on your school, and that's where you're at for the 4 years. You had some trials and tribulations, some ups and downs, and as you said, your main goal was medicine and science.
Right.
Track was just the vehicle that you were going to use to continue that free education. How much of becoming an elite athlete and being an elite athlete, how much did that play a part in being able to stay disciplined in that off season when you were kind of in no man's land? And then also, does that carry over to medicine, or the drive that you have for medicine carried over into athletics?
Good question. The drive that I had for medicine drove over to athletics.
Okay.
So that's first and foremost. But also, like from a very early age, like my family, they've always been, like go-getters. And right. So, like that's what I need to do. Like I need to work hard, get what I need, and then also contribute to, the places where I'm also, laying my hand on. And so, in terms of athletics, honestly, medicine, it was the driving force in every decision that I made, from the school that I went to, like the coach that, resonated with me. I told from day one, I was going on visits and I'm like, I'm going to want to do research, like I need to take these classes. This is going to be my major. Is it going to be an issue, if I do these things? And, what if I do miss practice? Are you able to compensate? Are you able to give me another practice or, move things around for me and my long-term goals? And so a lot of the things that I did athletically were driven by the goals that I had in my career.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense. It's just unique to hear a top athlete not originally be driven by sports. Like I honestly don't know how many people would actually have that story, and it may be more than I know. That's why I said I don't know. But normally you'll talk to especially Division I athletes. I mean, they yes. That's what got them there. Their drive for athletics, and yes. They just happen to use that as their vehicle, whereas you were using medicine plus sports as your vehicle.
Well, also, like I feel like it also goes into like a drive for excellence, period.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like if you want to be excellent, if you want to succeed, you know, of course you have to have a plan, but you know, you need to execute the plan. And you know, I planned on executing that plan in every single area. Um, and I mean, like without Cincinnati, you know, my coach there, Coach Nadine Faustin Parker, I wouldn't have been able to leave practice early. And, you know, like she would give me practices by myself, you know, on some days. And, you know, she was very accommodating to me. And also athletics played a part in helping me realize how much planning your days out, organization, resilience plays into life. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I guess they do kind of go hand in hand, but medicine was always my driving force.
What's been your motivation for wanting to practice medicine? Like, where did that such strong drive come from for medicine?
So when I was around 14, I really witnessed what the social determinants of health really are. And I realized that there's so many people that are looked over and maybe even unintentionally swept under the rug because, you know, maybe they are a minority, maybe they don't have insurance. And, you know, and a lot of times, and I've seen it even shadowing physicians, they have bias. And I really wanted to be a part in kind of dismantling that bias and also, you know, being a voice that could advocate for those that, you know, may not know or understand their voice. And that person was really my grandmother. You know, when I was young, I witnessed my grandmother pass away. And really, she was afraid of going to the doctors. There was symptoms that she had. And, you know, like my whole family's from the South. And we hear all of these stories and we have family members who, you know, trusted in the healthcare system and they lost their trust due to the American history. And so she didn't want to go. She didn't go to the doctor and she waited and things got really bad. And I didn't want to see that happen to anyone else. And every patient that I've seen thus far, I see my grandmother. I see all the people that helped her in healthcare. I see the doctors that helped her. And, you know, like my driving force has just been to treat people like they are my grandmother. And every time I talk about medicine, she is literally one of the topics of conversation because it is so relevant today. There's people dying from preventable diseases every single day, but they're scared to go to the doctor, or they don't have the money to go. They don't have the access to go.
That's what's up. Okay, so you talked about obviously kind of the social social aspects of medicine, you know, whether it's your demographics or you don't have the money, you don't have insurance. How do you feel about that with COVID? Obviously, from the medical perspective with COVID.
I think I'm sorry. Keep going.
I was just saying, obviously, you know, within the Black community, it's affected the Black community heavily. So do you think all those things play a role?
I definitely do. And in the beginning, of course, there was people that they didn't have insurance or they couldn't afford to go and get tested. And then they finally made it to where it was free to be able to get tested. And, you know, like they were able to kind of close that gap of the inequity of care. But I think that also, in terms of COVID,
Hey guys, if you see us like this, it's because our
Hold on
producer
one second.
Bobby is all in our ear right now. Oh, oh, David Martin's wife ran track at UT. All right, so we're gonna let sorry about that, Bree. Bree's gonna wrap up and kind of finish what she was saying, and then we will hop on to our guest live in studio. All right, go ahead, Bree.
Yeah, so basically what I was saying, and to just kind of finish up the COVID talk, yeah, I do think that we could have did a better job in the beginning. I'm glad that testing is now free. But in terms of, what about after COVID and also even with COVID, the people that are disproportionately, um, are actually getting sicker and sicker. And, actually the mortality rate for minorities is a lot higher than everyone else's because, we have a lot higher rates of diabetes. We have a lot higher rates of, like high blood pressure. And so we are disproportionately the most at risk for, getting sick and, passing away due to COVID. But I think for everyone out there, please wear your mask. Do not go
Yes.
out to the bars. Don't go to the bars. Don't go to Peter Street restaurant, bar and grill and whatever. Like just stay at home. Or at least be responsible when you go out.
Right.
And be courteous of others because you never know, like the person that's next to you. This is probably their first time coming out and they have a pre-existing condition. And they may be nervous. Just give them their 6, 10, 20 feet, whatever they want. But just be courteous of other people.
Wow, that's huge because I'll have my mask on, nobody else has their mask on. So what's the point?
Right. Yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
point? Cassandra tells me
Yeah.
all the time because at first I didn't realize that if I had my mask on, but they didn't have their mask on, then it's kind of negates the point of my mask. But
Yeah.
wear y'all's mask, man. Stop playing. Let's go. Let's hop on to this to our caller. Caller, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Hi, how are you? You want to give everybody your name and where you're
Hi.
calling in from?
I am calling from Knoxville, Tennessee. This is Kamisha Bennett Martin. I ran track at UT and also a little bit of professional. I'm just jumping in on your conversation, and I definitely can relate. My husband and I met in college, and so we conceived my oldest son there. So the lack of care was definitely there. Just because I was young, I didn't have family here. I was an athlete. It was a very traumatizing moment. Very happy that I have my son, but of course, it was very traumatic being a D1 athlete and to be pregnant on campus and actually go to class until like
Yeah.
a day or two before I had him and then start running again within 4 weeks and become all American again after having my son. So I definitely can relate to the health issues um, in the black community, especially black women and athletes in
Mhm.
particular. Um, and I'm glad to join you all today.
Hey, we're glad to
Awesome.
have you. That's legendary talk right here. You
You know,
know,
we love
Awesome. Awesome.
another Lady Ball in the building.
let's
And,
go.
we love Bearcats too. We know you're honorary Lady Ball too.
Yes, yes.
You've been inducted. But no, we
Awesome.
definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. And it's really great to hear stories like that. It's phenomenal to hear stories like that because you never know, like the women out here who, like that want to continue their career and you never know who's really struggling with what issues that they have. And that's very inspiring for a lot of people. And I hope that reaches a lot of people.
How often do you get to share your track story of being a D1 athlete and a professional track athlete? While we have you on the call, I would like to know that.
How often? Oh, I try not to share it a lot, to be honest. Um, I don't know. I'm kind of private about it, honestly. If you ask my friends, they don't really know a lot. I married an athlete myself, so everybody knows about my husband's career and all that, and barely know anything about me and the things that I have done. And when I retired, I had run track for 19 years, and so I just I was done. Okay, so
I
I
understand. I
mean,
understand.
I look like an athlete, and someone would ask me, "Oh, you played ball, you did this and that," and I would kind of tell them, but I just needed time to try to just be a parent, and then just going back to parenting and health. Our oldest son was diagnosed with autism, so after I retired, I just immersed myself into his life
Yeah.
and just did what I could to like get him to the point where he is right now, and make sure that that energy that I put on the track, it really went into, you know, getting my son to the place that he is right now. So I really didn't talk about it. I grew up running track. I was 8 years old on the track. All of my summers was track and field. I didn't want to coach afterwards because I was, like I said, I was just done. Like
Yeah.
no. But last year I was inducted into the Knoxville Hall of Fame, and it kind of brought things back to perspective and say, "Oh, I forgot I did all that." I really
Yeah.
have started working and becoming a parent. I just I was very removed from it. So, um, I enjoy talking about it a little bit more now because it's been since 2008. Don't do the math, y'all. I'm a little
Hey,
older.
that's when I graduated.
That's our years. What you
I
mean?
retired in 2000.
Graduated.
I retired in 2008 after 4 years of professional. So
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I like it. Thank you for, sharing
Awesome.
humbly sharing your story a little bit with us since you like to keep it.
Even though we got a tidbit, but it's okay. We gonna get your information. You coming on the show?
okay, I love it.
Absolutely.
Will
We
do.
do. Thank you for calling in. We do,
No
Brie,
problem.
we have a couple questions for you.
We
Uh,
do.
Sandra Garcia said, if you could change anything you wanted within the healthcare system, what would that be?
Ooh, okay, Sandrita.
That's for Bryana. That's for Brie. That's for Brie.
I would say definitely the cost of care, um, but also the cost of care while still keeping quality.
Mm.
Like I said, we talk about the U.S. being number one. We're number one in healthcare costs. We're the most expensive, and there's absolutely no reason why. And so that would be the number one thing that I would change.
I agree. A high cost and a low benefits, for real, for real.
Man,
And,
Lord, that health insurance,
And you still got a
is
copay.
tearing my pockets up.
hey, for real, it make you think twice. Like, do I really need this?
Right. I go
Yeah.
to the doctor like 3 times a year. Like,
Yeah,
Right.
and that's all for checkups from all my different doctors. Like,
yeah. I hate when they say follow up. I'll be like, nah, this one ain't paid for. I can't. I don't even think I can follow up. You know what I'm saying?
we do have a Facebook question from our loyal Maria Cornelius. What's up? She says she feels like a slacker sitting here watching you. Wow. But her question is, where are you at in your medical training?
Right now, well, I decided that I was going to take a gap year. And traditionally, people that go into medical school, they don't typically take a gap year. I decided to be the non-traditional student. And I think right now, medical schools are about 40% non-traditional students. And that's pretty much people that decide that they want to take a break from school, they want to travel, they want to work, they want to, live their lives, and then decide, okay, I'm going to take the MCAT, and then I'm going to apply, and then I'm going to go. And so, yeah, right now, I'm in the process of studying for the MCAT and then, of course, applying. But in the meantime, of course, I am training track athletes and doing other things that I love in my spare time. And this has just been like a really great year, other than the pandemic, because I was supposed to be traveling a lot more, but we're not even going to talk about that. But yeah, and then also doing a little bit of mentoring. A lot of my students that I mentored in college through different organizations, they've been reaching out to me and asking me, different, for advice and stuff like that. So, yeah, in terms of my medical training, I've just been, trying to study for the MCAT, live a little bit of life, and then keep it pushing.
All right, so we have a caller on the line. Oh, hey, Maria.
Hey, Maria.
What's up, Maria? Thank you.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I took a walk today, and I felt like I did something, and then I started listening to y'all talk, and I'm like, man, I'm a slacker here. How do all three of y'all know each other? How did you get connected with the show with both Jamel and Lex?
Well, Bryana and I, that is my girlfriend. So she's actually in the other room, honestly. But
Maria said, "Oh,
oh."
No.
So I'm walking around the house listening on my phone, so I don't see you on the screen. So I saw you in the meeting that we had at the other Zoom meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the statues.
That is correct.
Yes.
Yes, so she's my girlfriend, so by default, she's part of the party. All
So
right.
that is just tremendous by you. I got into it late because I was having to do work email, but I mean, just time management for you and I mean, pursuing a medical career. And obviously, Black women are so underrepresented in medicine. So what a tremendous career path for you to take. But how do you maintain all that you have to do and pursue a medical degree?
I mean, it just goes down to, like, what is your why? Why did you decide to do this? And so, every day that, was very difficult, in which I had a lot of difficult days where I felt I didn't have enough time. I was stressed out. I was thinking about a test and, physics or biochem. And then I was like, well, I also have a meet this weekend and I can't really do my homework on the road. And then it was like a lot of things that really stressed me out. But I think what I did was I did a lot of reading. I did also a lot of going to others, such as my mentor. My mentor, she is a Black orthopedic surgeon in Cincinnati, and she really helped put things into perspective for me and helped me stay on track. And she knows me so well. And she's my mentor. I chose her because I identify with her so much, her personality, her train of thought. And anytime that I would go into any of her surgeries and shadow her, she would ask me how my day was, how are you doing? You look stressed, what's going on? And then kind of go from there. And then, just her story is ridiculously crazy. She started medical school and she's one of the top orthopedic surgeons, and she started medical school at like 38. But she is phenomenal. But
I mean, I still have a chance.
Right, we still got it. Yeah. We can do it.
Yes. But it really all went down to organization, realizing your why, and also having support. I had my mentors, I had my family, I had my friends. Shout out to Haisha, Chelsea, and Lucina. But yeah, I had a lot of support. And that's really what kept me going and kept me motivated.
The best advice I ever heard somebody get when they were thinking about going back to school is like, well, if I go to law school and for I'll be 40 in 3 years when I finish. And somebody said, well, how old are you going to be in 3 years anyway?
Yeah, like if that was your dream, if that's your dream, then that's your dream. Make it happen. And like really, like her thing was, I want to live life. I want a family. She had 3 kids going into medical school and a husband, and she really just wanted it all. And honestly, and that's really what made me pick her as one of my mentors, because I wanted it all. So yeah, like just it's never too late.
I'll ask. Go ahead.
Oh no!
I'll ask one more.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'll ask one more question, and then I'll hang up and let you guys. Kind of a fun question. I'll hang up and let you guys keep going. If y'all go on a mile run today, of the 3 of y'all, who wins?
Not Alexis Hornbuckle. I'm telling y'all, but
let me tell you. Okay, look, I'm gonna tell this brief story because we're unfiltered, right? Okay. So when we had the tragic killing of George Floyd, we
and
went
Ahmaud Arbery. And Ahmaud
Arbery. I'm sorry. So we went and did the 8 minutes and 40. No, is that the one we did?
It was 2.
No, it was the 2 mile.
Yeah, it was like 2 miles.
Yeah, 2.23 miles.
Yeah,
that's the one. We did the 8:46 too, but so we went for a 2.23 miles. Mind y'all, like me and her, we both run, but we run separately. So we were like, yo, let's do this together. So when I run for a mile and a mile. I will walk the rest of the way home if I'm not back home. So me, I was a goalkeeper. Was I fit in my heydays? Absolutely. Now, it's all for aesthetic purposes. Anyway, so we go for this run, right? So she's like, all right, we're going to bust out the first mile. And, then in the second mile, we'll just kind of cruise. So I'm like, she talking about bust it out. We probably ain't going to run that thing. I'm cool. Maria, we probably got like, I don't know, about 3/4 of a mile. I couldn't even see her anymore. Mind you, we're running through a neighborhood, right? I couldn't even see her. So I'm like, meanwhile, I'm trying to find my second lung. And so needless to say, we don't really run that much together, but she would dust me and Lex. Lex carrying both inhalers, steroid, non-steroid inhalers. And I'm just trying to hang on for dear life.
Oh, I'm passing out. Ain't no doubt about that. Y'all gonna have to come back and pick me up. I'm done. Or y'all gonna have to wait 15 minutes for me to just finish 1 mile. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. I ain't running no mile.
We willingly hand her that trophy for running.
You got it. But I would have said back in the day, come see me, but you got it now though.
No, okay.
Yeah. Playing days.
Yeah.
Might have been able to do something, but
I don't know about that still.
I don't know. Maria, man, thank you so much for calling in. You always bring the heat and the good questions and all of that. I appreciate you. Maria?
Hello?
She might be gone.
All right, appreciate you, Maria. Hope you're still listening. Love
okay.
So, Bree,
I'm sorry, y'all. I was reading a Facebook comment. Yeah. I'm sorry. Look, Sam said cruise to her ain't what cruise to me would be. Cruise to me is just moving my arms faster than my legs. Yo, that would be me. To drop your head and act like you're doing something. You ain't going nowhere. Oh, man.
Bree, I guess, for us, right now during these times, we always try to ask this question just to get your perspective. A little bit, obviously we're dealing with a lot. And it kind of touches you in, different ways, and it touches, us. Obviously, medically, you've talked about COVID and everything. But also, what are your thoughts on kind of the Black Lives Matter and, kind of the everything that's going on right now in terms of that?
Well, I think that, wow, I honestly, growing up, I would, we would have Black History Month, and also, my parents are both from the South, and, like they've told me different things and different experiences that they've had, and I've seen them go through different experiences. I've gone through experiences, but I never thought that I would be going through, like what we call the civil rights movement of 2020. I never thought that, like I would actually see this happen. And I feel like I keep saying, like, what a time to be alive. Like, we go through a pandemic and we go through another civil rights movement where we're actually fighting, telling people, like, look at me, I matter too. And I remember when I first went to the University of Pittsburgh, and there was this app where people could pretty much comment, and it would just show you within a mile or two radius. And it was at that same time that the Trayvon Martin trials, that they were being finalized and the verdict was out. And it was absolutely hurtful to see all of the comments. And, like I had to get off of Twitter, I had to get off of Facebook, I had to get off of Instagram because it was just so painful. And, like for the people that, really don't understand what's going on, we all need to educate ourselves. And be patient when listening to others. Listen to understand, not listen to respond. And with that, you will at least say that you tried to really be empathetic as to what we have to go through, what we've seen our brothers and our sisters and our daughters and our sons and our mothers and our fathers and our grandparents have to go through, and how it all comes down. It's embedded in us to actually have to tell our sons and our daughters about, being stopped by the police, and how your skin can sometimes be seen as a weapon. And, like this topic, like, although I'm very passionate about it, like I get very upset. I get very sad because, like I absolutely dread the day that I would have to do that, to my son or my daughter. But, my parents had to do that to me. And I just like, I really hope that one day we could actually come to a moment where we can really understand each other, and, really try to be empathetic towards each other and each other's situations. And so that's all I have to say about it.
She got mic drop. Lex, what else you got for the people?
Listen to understand. Denise Teague said, listen to understand. I love that. What I got for the people is, we're going to touch on, Black Lives Matter, social, racial, socioeconomic injustices. We will touch on that every single show. What I would like to see from our followers and watchers, on all the platforms, if y'all can be just as active when we're talking about these things as you are when we talk about sports or our personal and our personal achievements, along with whatever academic or business life achievements that we're also sharing with you. Because bottom line is, we want to have as many uncomfortable situations as possible. I have always and probably will always love uncomfortable situations, unless it's directed at me. Then I don't know.
Then we really unfiltered, and we will immediately go off air.
Exactly. That's about it.
Honestly, though, being in an uncomfortable situation is, you should see it as an opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. No, we definitely like Lex. I think you said that perfectly. Like, of course,
Yeah,
everybody
absolutely.
loves us for being Lady Vols, and Bearcats. But no, but on a serious note, for real, like, of course, we do love our athletic achievements, but right now we want to use that platform to also focus on the things that we're struggling with, these injustices and obviously pandemics and the struggles that we're having, especially in the African American community. For us, obviously, on the levels of equality, LGBTQ plus communities, all those things, because they're very prevalent right now. They matter, to
Mm-hmm.
us, to our kids, our future grandkids, and all that. And we want to have those conversations. So, we definitely want y'all support in those areas as well. Because if you support us as athletes, you support us as Black women, you support us as part of the LGBTQ plus community. So that's all encompassing of everything we are. So we definitely want that love and support too.
Yo, absolutely. Bree, before we start to kind of wrap this up, what we do every single show with every one of our guests we give them an opportunity to kind of share, what do you want the people to know about you? Where can they find you? What helpful information, whether it's a video, a movie, a docuseries, a book, it doesn't matter. What do you want to give to the people? What do you want the people to take from you today?
I guess first and foremost, like I really want to, who I really live for are the little girls who really want it all. Like I live for the STEM little girls. I live for, the little girls that want to go to college, and of course also the boys. But a lot of my mentees are little girls, and like we can do it all. You can achieve it all, and you can have it all. You can still pursue your career, and like you can also find a means to the end to get there, even if it may be sometimes sometimes it can be hard. But everything that if it wasn't hard, everybody would be doing it. But yeah, like I just live to inspire other people. And that's my passion. You can find me on Instagram at Bryana Taught Me, Bryana Taught Me. Facebook, Bryana Robinson. I'm also part of the Gold Standard Fitness and Sports Performance Training.
Throw the background up, bud.
Throw the background up.
Y'all see it. Hold on.
So,
hey, find that logo, y'all, right there.
Absolutely. So, like if you're looking for live workouts, if, you have any students, boys or girls that are wanting to go into track and want a personal trainer, I'm here for that as well. But I think that like my biggest thing is do not tiptoe. Let everyone hear every single step you make. And no matter where you go, if you decide to transfer, be great. You can be great. You're willing, you're able, you're capable. And I'm really glad that I was able to be on today. So
thank you. Yeah. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us and dropping nuggets. A lot of people in the comments, on YouTube and Facebook. I got to do a better job to our Twitter followers. I apologize. I'm kind of like an old lady. I'm going to put that in Boog's hand. I ain't going to lie. That ain't my thing, okay? That's not my thing. But thank y'all, and thank y'all for the love and support that y'all are giving us and blatantly putting it in the comments. We appreciate that so much. And also Maria said, definitely an opportunity to grow or take somebody out, one or the other. Hey, Maria, I always like your thought process. Straight for the jugular, you know what I'm saying? But thank you again. Before we head out, thank you again for our sponsors and our partners, Hound Dogs of Knoxville, Tennessee. Make sure y'all go show support. Also, Tennessee Tap House. Also, Orange Mountain Designs, who now has a new location in Alcoa. God bless y'all. I stay with the Lady Ball gear thanks to Orange Mountain Designs. If y'all don't know where to get it, go to orangemountaindesigns.com or just simply hit me up. I can direct you exactly where you need to be at. All right. And then also anybody K through 12, if you have kids or if you yourself are in college and need help math tutoring or whatnot. Also ACT and SAT prep, Just Pass It. You can go to justpassit.com or on Instagram, Just Pass It Tutoring. Make sure you continue to follow the Volunteer Roadshow. Thank you, Volunteer Roadshow, for allowing the Collective Unfiltered to be on your platform and bless us with all the insights and connections and all this cool ass stuff y'all put on our show now. So thank you. I appreciate it. All right. But what you got to say to the people? Take them on out.
You already know what it is. We appreciate y'all for tuning in for episode number 19. Next week, we have episode 20. Stay locked in for who we have coming up next. And just remember, always be unfiltered in your truth.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.